Back when I first started posting content, I would post content every day across multiple platforms. My content looked good, it sounded professional, and from the outside, it genuinely looked like my visibility strategy was working for me. Except it wasn't. Behind the scenes, I was still broke. And that frustrating reality forced me to ask myself two questions that completely changed the way that I approach my online visibility. If you are creating content, but somehow you are not converting followers into clients, then this video is going to break down exactly where the gaps in your online visibility strategy are and tell you exactly what you need to do to fix them. What's up, everyone? I'm Jamila Bannister, personal brand and visibility strategist, and I help entrepreneurs and career-driven women build personal brands that actually pay them. Now, I have been creating content and posting online since 2014, but there was a period where I was everywhere, but I was earning little to nothing. Today, I am going to break down the exact framework that I use to close the gap between being seen and being paid. By the end of this video, you will understand why most online visibility strategies tend to fail, and you will know the exact route you need to take to turn your visibility into income. Let's dive in. Let me tell you about the most frustrating part of my visibility journey. Back in 2016, I had just returned from the UK after completing a second master's degree. But despite sending out countless resumes, I just could not find any work. That's when I decided to take my online visibility strategy seriously. But here's where I went wrong from the start. I held this pretty simplistic view of online visibility. I felt like if I just kept showing up, kept putting the content out there, someone would see me, think that I was so great, want to hire me, and then all my problems would be solved. I mean, it sounds like a foolproof plan, right? So I did what most professionals do when they're looking to get more serious about their visibility. I posted content every day. I ensured that it looked polished. I ensured that I sounded smart. I posted them everywhere. I tried to give real smart insights about marketing and branding. And in my mind, that would have gotten me the opportunity. It looked like I was succeeding from the outside, but in the reality is it just wasn't translating into new opportunities. And honestly, it felt very draining because I never wanted to position myself as unemployed. So I kept posting to seem more valuable and to seem attractive to potential employers or partners. But it just wasn't converting. I wasn't getting hired for the jobs that I wanted, and I certainly wasn't getting any kind of clients, right? And that's when I realized that most professionals aren't necessarily invisible to their target audience. They're just invisible in the wrong way to drive business growth. The fundamental issue is many professionals are creating content that is disconnected from the way they actually make money. They are sharing valuable insight without a clear connection to a positioning in the market. This means they are attracting general attention, but they're not guiding it anywhere specific or profitable. And that represents the critical gap in most online visibility strategies. When I analyze my own failed strategies, I realize that online visibility tends to fail for four main reasons. They are not positioned clearly in the market. They are speaking to too many audiences simultaneously. They are creating content without a defined business outcome, or they are relying on motivation rather than a systematic process. And over time, these issues start to compound. You hesitate before you show up online, and then you start wondering whether or not this content is actually working for you. Eventually, visibility becomes frustratingly inconsistent rather than reliably profitable. Now, if you are enjoying this content so far and never want to miss a future video, then subscribe and hit the notification bell. I share content like this every week that helps professionals and career-driven women build personal brands that pay. And drop a comment. Let me know if you could relate to any one of the four issues I talked about. Now let's get back to the video. The biggest breakthrough in my visibility journey had nothing to do with platforms or algorithms. It had to do with the unnecessary pressure I was placing on myself. I had convinced myself that every piece of content needed to be flawless and polished. That belief made content creation incredibly heavy and time-consuming. It slowed me down and it made content creation much harder than it needed to be. So I made a decisive change to stop overproducing every single piece of content. Instead, I prioritize speed, clarity, and authentic connection. That shift led me to develop an online visibility strategy that is built on a single principle. That consistency is not driven by external pressure, but internal simplicity, and it's built on systems. And the key insight is that an effective online visibility strategy is built on 3 principles. First, it should make crystal clear what you want to be known for. Second, it should consistently attract the most aligned audience to your content. And third, it should systematically lead people towards a paid solution that you offer. Anything outside of those 3 functions is noise that dilutes your message. If you want to monetize your skills effectively, your visibility should be anchored in business fundamentals, not just content tactics. Here's exactly how you build the system. Step 1, you must define what you want to be known for. Clarity is the absolute foundation of an effective online visibility strategy. If someone discovers your content today, could they immediately tell what you do and who you help? If not, your online visibility strategy is already leaking potential clients. I learned this the hard way. When I first started talking about branding, a lot of people started reaching out to me wanting logo design. That's when I know that my messaging was not clear, and I absolutely needed to be clear, because I am the last person you want working on your logo design. You don't need multiple topics or several areas of expertise. You just need to own one specific area that your clients could immediately connect with your name. Step 2, align your visibility with a monetizable skill. Visibility without a concrete product or service behind it will always feel frustrating and pointless. Your content should be directly linked to something that you can monetize and sell, whether it's coaching, courses, digital products, or structured offers. Your audience shouldn't just learn from you, but they should see a clear and obvious path to invest and work with you when they are ready. Step 3, you need to start building authority building content, and not just content for engagement. Not all content produces equal results. Some content is made to inform, others entertain, but the kind of content that you need to build if you want to convert followers or likers or lurkers into buyers is authority building content that positions you as the obvious choice in your area of expertise. This means solving real problems that your audience faces daily, demonstrating your unique approach, showing your proven process, and reflecting on genuine expertise. Authority isn't built by saying more things more often. It's built by saying what consistently matters to your audience and showing them that you can solve their problems. Step 4, you need to remove friction from your content creation process. Even if your positioning is clear, if content is too heavy or time-consuming, you will struggle to remain consistent. This is where most ambitious strategies fail in execution. For me, that meant moving away from over-editing and over-polishing every single post. I built a systematic approach that has now allowed me to show up more naturally and more frequently. And that operational shift increased my visibility more than any platform-specific change ever did. Step 5, you need to build a clear path to conversion. Your visibility should lead to somewhere profitable. What happens if somebody consumes your content and wants to engage with you further? What do they do next? Do they book a call? Do they join your mailing list? Do they send you a DM? What should they do? If your pathway isn't obvious to your audience, then you are leaving tremendous opportunities to make money on the table. An effective strategy does not just attract attention. It systematically drives that attention to revenue-generating activities. When your visibility strategy works effectively, everything feels fundamentally different. You are no longer guessing what to post based on inspiration. You are no longer creating content in isolation from your business goals. And you are no longer hoping that visibility will magically lead to profits. Instead, you are speaking with absolute clarity about your expertise. You're showing up with reliable consistency that builds trust. You're attracting the right people, and you're predictably converting attention into paying opportunities. This is the shift from content creator to business owner. And here's the truth about consistency that not enough people talk about. It's not a discipline problem requiring more willpower. It's a design problem with your systems and processes. And if you want to learn more about consistency and what it takes to be more consistent with your content, you could check out my other video on content consistency. If you recognize yourself in this analysis, and by that I mean visible online but unable to convert that online visibility into revenue, your next step is to gain more clarity and structure for your approach. Now, I've created a comprehensive program called the Brand Print Visibility Accelerator, where I teach career-driven women how to define their position clearly, simplify their content systems, and build visibility that leads directly to income. But if you want to start by finding out where your current online visibility strategy might be breaking down, you can start by taking my visibility and monetization assessment. The link for it is in the description. When you take this assessment, you will know exactly where the gaps in your process are and what you need to do to start creating content and showing up more visibly in a way that does more than just drive engagement. It actually drives revenue. Visibility is genuinely powerful for building any business, but it is most effective when that visibility is intentional and strategic. The goal isn't simply to be seen by more people, but to be seen by the people that most align with the outcomes that you could drive for their business as well as your own. If this video clarified what it means to build an online visibility strategy that drives conversion and not just engagement, then subscribe. Give it a thumbs up so you never miss a future video like this. Until then, keep building your personal brand, and I'll see you in the next one.